The cold, sterile air of the conference room hit me like a physical blow the moment the CEO's voice cut through the silence. Your services are no longer required, he stated, his words devoid of warmth, devoid of any trace of the man who'd once praised my innovative vision for integrating green spaces into urban infrastructure. My heart didn't just sink, it shattered. The polished mahogany table, the fluorescent glare, the faces of my former colleagues, all suddenly felt like the bars of a cage slamming shut. I'd been publicly discredited, my reputation smeared by a colleague's meticulously crafted lies, my career dismantled in a single brutal sentence. The dream I'd poured my soul into, the dream that had defined me, was declared dead. And the worst part, the crushing weight of utter humiliation, I'd been the brilliant urban planner, the one who saw the city's potential for green resilience. Now I was just gone, an embarrassment, a cautionary tale whispered in the halls. The drive home that night was a blur of numbness and rage. My parents' house, usually a sanctuary, felt like a mausoleum. Their disappointment hung thick in the air, a tangible force. We told you this wouldn't work, my father's voice, usually steady, now held a brittle edge. You were chasing rainbows, son, a fancy degree, a prestigious firm that was the path. This foraging nonsense, it's a hobby, a fad. You're wasting your life. My mother's tears were silent, but her words cut deeper. We only wanted what was best for you. This is not it. You've brought shame. The ridicule I'd endured from colleagues paled beside the visceral pain of my family's rejection. They saw only failure, not the fire still burning within me. I didn't fight, I didn't argue. The sting of their words, the finality of the CEO's dismissal, fused into a single, unyielding resolve. I couldn't stay. I couldn't let their doubt define me. I packed a single bag, left the keys on the kitchen counter, and drove into the night. The city's concrete jungle felt alien, hostile, but deep down a spark ignited. Not the spark of defiance, but of pure, unadulterated purpose. I'd prove them all wrong, not just to the colleagues who'd stabbed me in the back, but to the family who'd written me off as a failure. I'd build something real. Something tangible, something that fed people and healed the land. The world of urban foraging wasn't easy. It was ridiculed as a hippie fad, dismissed as impractical. I was the crazy forager, the impractical dreamer, but I had nothing left to lose. I started small, in abandoned lots, forgotten parks, the edges of industrial zones. I learned the city's hidden rhythms, the secret life thriving beneath its asphalt skin. I harvested purslane, dandelion greens, wild garlic, mapping their locations, understanding their seasons. It wasn't just about food, it was about connection. I began teaching neighbors, showing them the bounty they walked past every day. I organized cleanup days, transforming trash-strewn lots into vibrant microgardens. I built community gardens on rooftops in schoolyards, proving that food security wasn't a distant dream, but a tangible reality achievable right here, right now. The struggle was relentless, funding was scarce, skepticism was constant, and the physical toll was immense. There were nights spent cold and hungry, nights where doubt whispered that my family was right, but I pushed through. I built partnerships with local chefs, schools, and hospitals. I documented the impact, pounds of fresh produce grown, families fed, communities united. I proved the impractical was not only possible but essential. The fringe movement became a recognized force, a blueprint for sustainable urban living. My name, once synonymous with professional disgrace, became synonymous with innovation and resilience. I wasn't just surviving. I was thriving, building a legacy that spoke louder than any boardroom dismissal. Years later, the call came. My parents, now older, wiser, perhaps haunted by the distance and the silence, invited me home. We'd like to see what you've done. My father's voice held a tentative note I hadn't heard in decades. The invitation felt like a lifeline, a chance for reconciliation, however fragile. I packed my bags not with trepidation but with a quiet confidence. I wasn't returning as the disgraced son, I was returning as the founder of a movement, the creator of thriving ecosystems where barren land once lay. The drive back was familiar, yet charged with a new energy. As I pulled up to the house, the sight that greeted me stopped my breath, not the familiar, slightly faded facade, but a vibrant, living tapestry. Where once there was a patch of patchy grass and a few struggling shrubs, now stood a lush, terraced garden bursting with kale, chard, tomatoes, and herbs. Beyond it, a small orchard of dwarf fruit trees, carefully chosen for the urban microclimate. But the most astonishing sight was the transformation of the abandoned lot at the end of the street, now a bustling community garden, overflowing with vegetables, buzzing with bees, and filled with people of all ages working together. The air smelled sweet, earthy, alive. My parents stood on the porch watching the scene unfold. Their faces, initially blank with surprise, slowly morphed. Shock gave way to dawning comprehension, then to a profound, almost painful realization. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father's jaw tightened, a muscle working furiously. They saw the tangible proof of what I'd built, not just gardens, but hope, community, resilience. They saw the faces of neighbors, children, elders, all connected by the simple act of growing food together. They saw the vibrant life I'd breathed into the concrete desert. I stepped out of the car, the weight of years lifting. I walked towards them, not with anger, but with a quiet, undeniable certainty. "This is what I built," I said, my voice steady, resonant, "from the ground up, from the ridicule, the dismissal, the impractical label. This is the city I saw, the city I refused to let die." I gestured towards the thriving garden, the orchard, the bustling community space. "This is the legacy I chose, not the one you expected. And it's feeding people, healing the land, and rebuilding our community, one seed at a time." A silence fell, thick and heavy, then my father's voice, raw and hoarse, broke through. It's beautiful, son. Truly beautiful." Tears streamed down his cheeks, not of shame, but of a profound, belated understanding. My mother stepped forward, her arms outstretched, not in judgment, but in a fragile, hopeful embrace. "We were wrong," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "We were so wrong." In that moment, standing amidst the vibrant life I'd cultivated, surrounded by the tangible proof of my resilience and the quiet, tearful acknowledgement of my parents, I felt a profound sense of peace. The karmic ledger, long overdue, had finally balanced. The ridicule, the betrayal, the years of struggle, they hadn't broken me, they had forged me. I hadn't just proven my worth, I had redefined it. The ridiculous dream wasn't a fantasy, it was the blueprint for a better, more connected, more resilient world. And in the end, that was the sweetest victory of all. The world I'd built wasn't just a testament to my perseverance. It was a living, breathing answer to every doubt, every sneer, every whispered "you'll fail." It was proof that sometimes the most revolutionary acts begin not in boardrooms, but in the forgotten corners of the city, with a handful of seeds and an unwavering belief in the possibility of growth.